All right. Hello, everyone. On behalf of NUJS Kolkata and the Civil and Judicial Examination Cell, I would like to welcome Ms. Aishwarya Shoran, All India Rank 93, UPSC CSE 2019, who has achieved this feat in her first attempt and has been allocated the most prestigious Indian Foreign Service. Ms. Aishwarya hails from Rajasthan and has done her schooling from Sanskriti School, Delhi, and her graduation in economics from the Sri Ram College of Commerce, Delhi University. She was also a finalist in the Femina Miss India 2016. Now she is all set to become one of India's youngest bureaucrats. The session will be divided into two parts. In the first part, Ms. Shoran will discuss her strategy and a holistic approach to crack the UPSC CSE. The second part would be a Q&A session. You can post your questions in the chat box. In the meanwhile, I would request everyone to turn off their mics. Now you can begin.
Thank you for the lovely introduction, Ayan. It's a pleasure for me to be here today to interact with all the aspirants, all the people who are going to take their exam very soon. I hope that whatever I tell them is going to help them in the future. So to start with, how I started preparing for this exam and how I could crack it in the first attempt with the preparation of about 1 year. When I started preparing for this exam, I was a blank slate. I was coming from a profession of modeling, a profession which is known for its glitz and glamour, totally different from the studious life of a UPSC aspirant. But let me tell you that UPSC is one exam which is gender neutral, location neutral, and also preparation neutral. You can be in any part of India and prepare for this exam. You can come from any background, you can come from any place or, with any sort of pre-decided background. It does not matter. This is one exam where all of us have to start afresh. So all those people who initially have that anxiety कि पता नहीं हमसे ये होएगा कि नहीं, पढ़ाई में इतने अच्छे हैं नहीं, I would like to say that please shed all these apprehensions. ये एक ऐसा एग्जाम है जिसमें आप जब भी शुरू करेंगे, if you have that discipline, if you have that consistency, you will be able to go through it and you will be able to crack it in the first attempt. So coming to my preparation, as I said, I was coming from modeling. The first 15 days of my preparation, that is from May 1st to May 15, 2018, were spent just on understanding what UPSC is all about. There are 3 stages of this exam. First is the prelims, which tests your factual knowledge. So all the facts and all the trivial information may be asked in prelims. Then comes the mains. I think the mains is the heart of UPSC because mains test your answer writing skills. So here UPSC is looking at how you're writing. And thirdly comes the interview, where they are looking for your overall personality and how you speak. All 3 stages have got their own importance. And if I really have to point it out, I think it's better to follow a prelim comes main strategy, an integrated approach when you're preparing for this exam. Because most of the topics are overlapping, be it in prelims or mains. So I started with this initial research about the exam, the syllabus. सिलेबस आप प्रिंट करा के अपने दीवार पे लगा लें ताकि आपको पता चले कि जो सब्जेक्ट्स हैं लाइक GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4 उनमें क्या क्या टॉपिक्स आते हैं. इससे अगर आप एक बार अपने आप को फेमिलियर कराएंगे, यू वुड बी एबल टू गेट इनटू द जोन ऑफ यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू बी थरो विद द सिलेबस एटलीस्ट कि क्या पढ़ना है. उसके बाद once you start your preparation, once you know the syllabus, I would suggest that when you start your preparation, you should start with heavier subjects like history, polity. इनकी आप NCERT से शुरू कीजिए. अगर आप NCERT एक बार नहीं पढ़ना चाहते, आप डायरेक्ट बुक्स जो स्टैंडर्ड बुक्स हैं वो पढ़ना चाहते हैं, इट्स योर चॉइस. सी वेयर यू स्टैंड. अगर वो सब्जेक्ट एकदम आपके लिए नया है, I would suggest you start with NCERT. Once you're done with your NCERT readings, then you pick up the main books. I have already released my book list. There is a link called cscwiki.org. It's an initiative of my entire batch where all the toppers have written down their book list and strategy. You can go on that to see it. So book list is very simple. For one topic, you have to follow one book. So for example, for polity, you have to follow Lakshmikant. Lakshmikant is like the Bible of polity. For history, you follow Spectrum. Geography, NCRTs of class 11th and 12th are more than enough. And similarly, for other subjects, you can go through the book list. So the rule is to have limited sources. When I say limited sources, it means अगर कोई ऐसा टॉपिक है जो सिलेबस में दिया हुआ है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ देयर इज अ टॉपिक अबाउट सम एनवायरमेंटल इशू और वो आपको एक किसी पर्टिकुलर बुक में नहीं मिल रहा है, तो व्हेन यू आर मेकिंग योर नोट्स, make precise notes. You may refer to 10,000 websites which are there on the internet, but when you make your notes, वो notes इतने precise होने चाहिए कि वो 150 से 200 words में आ जाने चाहिए, because in the exam that is the word limit. So be very careful about note making and about material collection. There is an ocean of material available in the market, and that is where most of the people get confused कि क्या पढ़ें कितना पढ़ें. I think in this exam, more than what knowing what to study, it's also very important to know what not to study. सारे मटेरियल पढ़ने से कुछ नहीं होगा. एक टॉपिक है, उस पे एक मटेरियल पढ़िए, उससे अपने नोट्स बनाइए, and somewhere you have to trust those notes. So I started with the history, polity subjects because they are the heavy subjects of GS. Once I was done with these subjects, then I started incorporating subjects like geography, environment, and other minor subjects like agriculture, society, other GS topics. So this went on for about 3 months. So May, June, July was spent during these topics. Then the entire next 3 months, August, September, October, was the time for my optional preparation. So my optional was economics. A lot of people have this doubt कि what optional to choose from. There are so many optionals. क्या वो background वाला होना चाहिए या कैसा optional choose करें? So I would just like to clarify that there is a huge myth that there is a trending optional. Optionals like anthropology, sociology, इनमें marks ज़्यादा आते हैं. So to all the aspirants, I would say कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. सारे optionals को UPSC equally ही grade करता है. ऐसा कोई ऑप्शनल नहीं है जो ट्रेंडिंग होता है. आप वो ऑप्शनल चूज कीजिए जिसमें पहली बात, होपफुली इफ यू हैव अ बैकग्राउंड इन दैट सब्जेक्ट, स्पेशली इफ इट्स अ टेक्निकल सब्जेक्ट, वेल एंड गुड. अगर आप अपने बैकग्राउंड या ग्रेजुएशन वाला सब्जेक्ट नहीं लेना चाहते, देन प्लीज गो फॉर सब्जेक्ट विच यू लाइक. सो सब्जेक्ट इन विच यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन, because you have to study that subject for more than 2 years. It takes minimum 2 years to get to clear this exam, even with the first attempt. So to be able to study a subject for so long, आपको उसमें interest होना चाहिए. So my suggestion would be not to go by all these rumors कि आजकल ये subject trending है, इसमें ज़्यादा topper निकलते हैं. You go by what your heart says. If you like that subject, you choose that subject. It's a very simple decision. So optional के लिए मैं specially ये recommend करूँगी कि आप notes ज़रूर बनाएं. Because what happens is, जब एक बार आपका प्रीलिम खत्म होता है, प्रीलिम्स एंड मेंस के बीच में you have around 2 to 3 months, and that is a very limited time. So उस time if you have your optional notes ready, you can revise them multiple times. So I would suggest that if not for other GS subjects, at least for your optionals, you start making notes. And after that, so October, I was done with my optional. I went through it once and I had my notes ready. Then November, December, again I started focusing on current affairs and GS preparation, more on the revision aspect of it. Because what happens is कि जब हम बार-बार नई बुक्स पढ़ने लगते हैं, तो हम पहले का जो पढ़ा होता है वो भूलने लग जाते हैं. So it's very important that you have a revision plan in place. So my plan was very simple, that I used to study for 10 hours in a day, 10 plus 8 plus 6 approach. So 10 hours of study, 8 hours of sleep, and 6 hours to do everything else. So if I'm studying for 10 hours, 5 hours would be spent in studying the new topics for the day, and rest of the 5 hours is exclusively for revision. Revision of my prelims test papers if I'm doing that, revision of my GS preparation which I did in the morning, revision of optionals, revision for the current affairs, all this time. So I think you need to have a proper revision strategy also, because there is no point studying new and new material and not revising it. आप उतने ही material रखिए जितना आप बार बार revise कर सकते हैं. And if possible, try and make concise notes. Now coming to the answer writing. I started answer writing very late. I started in January 2019 simply because this was my first attempt, and इससे पहले मेरे पास इतना content नहीं था कि मैं answers लिख सकूं. So if you are somebody who has already been preparing for some time, you can straight away, I would say, as soon as you can start, you please start practicing mock test series. You can join any reputed institute. I joined the Vision IAS test series. I think their feedback really helped me in improving my answers. So if possible, try and maximize the number of mock tests that you can give. Because what happens is, that is where you realize कि आप कहाँ अपना टाइम बचा सकते हैं, कौन से आपके स्ट्रॉन्ग टॉपिक्स हैं और कौन से ऐसे एरियाज हैं जहाँ पे आप थोड़ा आपकी वीकनेसेस हैं. So taking my example, my handwriting was very slow. When I first wrote my mock test, it took me around 4 hours and 29 minutes. I still remember the time. So इतना ज़्यादा extra time. 3 घंटे हमें पेपर में मिलते हैं, and I was taking 4 hours 29 minutes. And I still remember I was feeling terrible after my mock test, the first mock test. And I was thinking ki, I have gathered so much of information. Now, how am I going to put it on the paper? Because the examiner doesn't know what's there in my brain. He or she is only going to see what's there on my answer sheet. And time was a huge constraint for me. So then, when I started taking these mock tests, then I realized that, there are many innovative ways that you can use. I shortened my introduction and conclusion. एक दो line के introduction conclusion मैंने लिखना शुरू किया. Very relevant to the point statements. Secondly, flow chart, diagrams, graphs, इन सब का मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा use किया. So anybody who's facing a problem of slow handwriting can use these. And lastly, there are certain keywords like analyze, critically analyze, discuss. They have their own significance. So when a question is asked that so and so, and please discuss this, it is supposed to be written in a different way than if a question is asked that critically analyze so and so. So you have to see these keywords and make your answer writing strategy accordingly. And this can only happen when you take multiple tests. So this answer writing for me went on from January to April. Then May was the time when I exclusively started focusing on prelims. So 1 month before my prelims exam, I stopped writing new notes from the newspaper for current affairs. I think if your exam is next month, and if your exam is coming within a month, you can stop making new current affairs and focus on the ones that are already there with you. So 1 month before my prelims, I started an exclusive prelim specific preparation. So I started giving all the mock tests for prelims. You may sign up with any coaching institute for online mock test series or offline, or you can even download them for free. There is a website called freeupscmaterials.com. If you go on that website, you'll find all the coaching centers, उनके जितने भी mock test हैं, वो सब already वहाँ पे होते हैं. So you can just download them for free, and the answers are also available. So specifically for prelims, you can do this because prelims it's very objective. So you just need the answers. Now another thing is that when you're doing the mock test, it's not only about ticking X number of questions. It is also about revising those answers. So if I was practicing a prelims mock test in the morning, I would revise the answers of that same mock test in the evening. तो वो पेपर चेक करके आप देखिए आपकी क्या गलतियां हैं. एंड जब आप आंसर पढ़ते हैं तो बहुत से ऐसे टॉपिक्स हैं लाइक साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, एनवायरनमेंट, आर्ट एंड कल्चर. ऐसी कुछ चीज़ें which you will not find in any other book, you will find in the answers of these mock tests. So my suggestion would be that you revise these answers also periodically. So I took about 25 mock tests for prelims, and after that I appeared for my prelims. Prelims में कितने question करें? I think the maximum that you can do. That would be my suggestion. I did around 80 to 85 questions. सो आई थिंक इट रियली डिपेंड्स. आप मॉक टेस्ट करेंगे तो आपको आइडिया होगा कि क्या कितने अटेम्प्ट करें कि आपका स्कोर मैक्सिमाइज हो. But 80 to 85, I would suggest, is a comfortable number of questions. Now, one more thing about prelims. Please practice doing the prelims test on an OMR sheet. Many of you may be familiar, many of you may see it for the first time. Filling in those little circles also can be troublesome for some. So I would suggest that एक बार आप OMR sheet download करके उस पर practice करके जाएं, so that वहाँ पे you don't feel uncomfortable at all. Now coming to the mains, as I already said, answer writing is very crucial. जितना पहले आप शुरू कर सकें उतना बेटर है. मैंने अपना GS की आंसर राइटिंग जनवरी से शुरू की थी, बट ऑप्शनल की आंसर राइटिंग आई कुड ओनली स्टार्ट आफ्टर माय प्रीलिम्स. So anybody who's preparing, who's thinking of preparing next year, as soon as you can start, please start with answer writing, because it is very important to give as many mock tests as possible. You will only gain confidence by taking more and more tests. So I started with my answer writing for my optionals, revising my optional notes. That is why I said that optional के लिए आपके notes होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Because if you have your notes ready, so in those 2 to 3 months, you can always revise them again and again. So this was most of the time between my prelims and mains was spent in my optional preparation, on optional mock test, also revising the GS syllabus. Another thing that I would like to say, there are many supplementary materials available, especially for mains. It's called PT365 for prelims, and similarly for mains also, Vision IS releases these compilations, and many other coaching institutes, I think even Insights releases. So you can make use of them, but at the same time, many people, they ask me कि खुद के notes बनाएं कि नहीं बनाएं, because सब लोग इतना ऑलरेडी कंपाइल करके दे रहे हैं, देयर आर सो मेनी मैगजीन्स अवेलेबल, तो हमें बनाने की क्या जरूरत है. बट आई वुड सजेस्ट दैट यू प्लीज मेक योर ओन न्यूज़पेपर नोट्स एवरी डे. इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज नो मैटर हाउ मेनी मैगजीन्स यू गो थ्रू, कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें हमेशा होंगी जो आपके खुद के नोट्स में ही आपको मिलेंगी. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. करंट अफेयर्स नोट्स, आई एम जस्ट कमिंग टू दैट, हाउ टू मेक करंट अफेयर्स नोट्स. बट the answer writing strategy is to minimize the amount of time that you take to write long sentences. जितना आप टाइम बचा सकते हैं आंसर राइटिंग में, इंट्रोडक्शन कंक्लूजन एकदम रेलेवेंट लिखिए, 1-2 लाइन से ज़्यादा मत लिखिए. Only if it's a relevant fact, then only write it. If you write a vague sentence, it is not going to get you marks. Another way to save time, especially for those who have handwriting like me, is to use smart phrases. For example, if you have to write, center and state governments should work together on this. Instead of writing such a long sentence, if you just write way forward, cooperative federalism, that sums it all. So I think that is how you save time, especially for answer writing. Now coming to the current affairs notes making, it should not take you more than 1 hour to make newspaper notes. A lot of people spend hours and hours making the current affairs notes, not realizing that it's not only note making, but also reading and revising those notes. So be very precise about your notes. जैसे अगर मैं अपनी बात करूँ, how I used to make my notes. So there's a initiative of Insights called Insight Current Affairs. So when I used to sit for my current affairs notes, I first used to make it from that Insight Current Affairs. Then I used to open the newspaper to check if there is anything which I have missed out, anything which they have not compiled and I find important for the exam. And I used to add it to my notes. So this entire process, instead of doing the newspaper first and reading the compilation later, you start with the compilation and see the newspaper for anything which is left. This way I could save a lot of time. My note making used to be done in 40 minutes, and the rest of the time, about an hour and a half, I used to spend revising those notes, revising the previous week's notes. So it's not only about current affairs note making, but also revising them periodically. Because what happens is, there is a pile of paper at the end, by the time your prelims approaches, and usko dekh ke hi aap घबरा जाते हैं that, who's going to study it. So it's better to periodically revise your current affairs notes. So that is about the preparation till mains. Now when we come to the interview, Again, interview is a personality test. So it completely depends on you, where you stand, where your weaknesses and strengths lie. For somebody who's feeling a little underconfident or who has never faced an interview before, I would suggest that you go for a lot of mock interviews. But for somebody who is already good, who is already a good debater or who has good speaking skills, I would suggest that you limit the number of mock interviews you go for. Because at the end of the day, it's a personality test. You should not look like a parrot or a rehearsed person. And it's very important to maintain your originality. So when the interview panel sees you, they are so experienced that they will know whether you are rehearsed or whether your answers are all plastered. So it's very important to keep that sense of originality, honesty in place. So it completely depends on where you stand. So you be your own judge regarding the interview preparation. But what is important is that when you fill your detailed application form, it's better to follow restraint. When I say restraint, it means that you may be doing 1,000 things, you may be good in 1,000 things, but it's not important to write all of them in your DAF. You can save some for later. So be very specific about what you write in your detailed application form, because later on, each and every word of that form, it's a research material for you. You have to study each and every word. If you have written that you are good at basketball, you have to know the dimensions of that basketball court, the latest news regarding basketball players, everything. So it's better to be very wise in your form filling. So only write those hobbies which you can thoroughly research about and you actually have interest in them. So I think that is about my journey, and whatever questions that you may have in your mind, you can always post it right now.
Thank you so much for explaining everything so beautifully. It was really very interesting experience. We all really enjoyed your talk. Now moving on to the second part of the session. I think you have covered everything, mostly everything. Let's just move on to the questions. First question is, how important are magazines like Yojana and Kurukshetra in the preparation?
When it comes to magazines, again, there is an ocean of magazine material available in the market. But I would suggest that, like any other sources, you stick to one particular source. So you can subscribe to any particular magazine, Yojana or Kurukshetra. But what I followed was that I used to download the Vision IAS magazines available online for free. So I think it completely depends on your choice, whichever magazine you like. Ultimately, it's all current affairs. You have already written it in your newspaper notes. So what's important is to have only one magazine. So be it Yojana or be it Kurukshetra. It cannot be both of them. So the point is that you have your limited sources. There should not be 3-4 magazines on your desk and you're not able to read them. Whichever magazine you choose, be very wise about it, trust it, and make your notes from there.
Okay, so we have the second question. What subjects should an aspirant cover first? Is there an order of the subjects you would recommend?
As I said earlier, that definitely there is an order, because what happens is that the syllabus is very vast, and often at times when people start their preparation, they are confused कि कहाँ से शुरू करें इसको. So I would suggest that subjects like polity and history, they form the crux of most of the UPSC syllabus. Polity आपके current affairs में भी काम आएगा. History, again, it's a very important topic, it's a very heavy topic. So you start with the heavier subjects first. And when you feel comfortable doing them, then you slowly start including subjects like environment, geography, agriculture, society, security. All these are subsidiary subjects in the sense that उनका syllabus इतना vast नहीं है जितना history and polity का है. So that is the order that I think you should try and follow. Aryan, I cannot hear you properly.
Okay, so how to overcome the fear of competition when you decide to prepare for the exam?
You've asked me this question, and this reminds me of a particular incident. When I was going to write my mains exam, optional exam, बाहर जो aspirants थे, some of them were discussing that मेरा तो medical optional है, मेरा ये optional है, पता नहीं ये optional कैसा है. And I was thinking that you are about to take the exam in that subject and you're feeling so underconfident. So I would suggest that you please surround yourself with positive people who give you that positive energy. Competition is everywhere. UPSC is not a new thing. This exam has been going on for so many decades now. Competition is in every field. What's important is to compare yourself only with yourself. So you formulate a timetable, you stick to that timetable. Everybody has got their own battles to win. They have got their own stories. But it does not matter that your story can resonate with them. So you believe in yourself. Competition chalta rahega. There will always be somebody ahead of you. But what's important is that you enjoy this journey. आप अपनी पढ़ाई को enjoy करके पढ़िए, discipline के साथ पढ़िए, and आज नहीं तो कल you will definitely crack this exam.
Okay, so moving on, did you read Bipin Chandra for history preparation, or is Spectrum enough? And for ancient and medieval, old NCRTs or Tamil Nadu textbooks?
Okay. So again, it's a very personal choice. I did read Bipin Chandra because all the toppers recommend reading Bipin Chandra. So like any other aspirant, I was also confused. But the reason why I left it later is because I felt that book is written in a story format. Whereas when you write your answers in the mains exam, it has to be very precise. You only get 200 words to write your answers. So I would suggest that if you really want to read it, you can go through it once. But when you have to revise it again and again, then you please go for Spectrum, because it is a much more concise book written in a more or less a point format. So आप अपने answers mains के लिए directly वहाँ से उठा सकते हैं, so to say. So that would be the answer to that question. And what was the other part that you asked me, Aryan?
For ancient and medieval, old NCRTs or Tamil Nadu textbooks?
Well, it's a tie between both of them. I chose Tamil Nadu textbooks because मुझे लगा वो ज़्यादा पतली हैं. It really depends on what you like. So I went for Tamil Nadu. But again, somebody who's comfortable with old NCRT, they can go for that. As long as you go for one of them and not both. कई बार लोग सब कुछ order कर लेते हैं. That is not important. You choose one source and be happy with it.
Okay, so Shreyas is asking, the editorials of a newspaper ends up taking most of the 1 hour deadline. To what extent are they helpful for essay writing? And is note making advisable, particularly for the editorial section?
Yes. When I was starting my preparation, a lot of people spend hours and hours on the editorial section. I would say that when you realize what kind of exam UPSC is, it's a very, very precise exam. You will get 150 to 200 words to write everything that you know. So editorials definitely don't help you in your GS answers. There, your answers have to be precise enough. And, editorials are ultimately somebody's opinion. The place where editorials can help is your essay paper. But here again, if you read a newspaper like The Hindu, many a times you will find some kind of bias in the way the editorials are written, or maybe some other paper, because editorials are personal opinions. So what I used to do was that if I'm reading an editorial, I would not spend more than 5 to 10 minutes on it. I would see if there's a good punchline which I can use in my essay paper. So if there is a good punchline which I can use, I had a separate register for my essay. So I would just write those 1 or 2 lines for that day. So there is no need to make elaborate notes on somebody else's opinion. What is important is that आप government documents पढ़ें. अगर कोई नीति आयोग की report है, उससे आप अपने notes बनाएं. That makes more sense rather than going for these different opinion-based editorials. Editorials के लिए सिर्फ आप punchline वहाँ से निकाल सकते हैं. That is the only usage which I found.
Right. So Aditya is asking, could you please substantiate a little on your essay writing strategy? Did you have any specific format you use frequently for writing the different kinds of essays, philosophical or otherwise?
Yes, sure. Essay was one paper which, like many other aspirants, I was ignoring like anything. It's only after my prelims when I actually started taking it seriously. But let me tell you, essay, ethics, and optional, these are the three papers which really define your success in UPSC. So you cannot ignore these papers at all. So coming to my essay strategy, I took mock tests for essays with Vision IS. I wrote about 5 to 6 essays. That gave me an idea that, okay, my time management is fine in the essay. I spent around 1.5 hours to write each essay. So starting 15 minutes, you decide the basic format of your essay and then you start writing for about 1 hour, 15 minutes for each essay. So that was the thing which I did in the exam. Now, when apart from this, a lot of people make this mistake that they start thinking that when you have prepared so much for GS, itna knowledge to aa gaya hai, to essay to likh hi denge. But that is not the case. You have to spend a little amount of time for this paper. It does not require more than 15 to 20 minutes. You take out the past year papers, jo essay ke hain, you select one topic, and then for 15 minutes, just 15 minutes, you make a rough structure of the essay that you want to write. So for example, if it's an environmental based, global warming based topic, so you take out that topic, you write your own essay, you say that, okay, introduction mein main isme ye likhungi, uske baad ye, you make a rough, skeleton structure of it. And then you compare that structure with any of the topper answer sheets which are downloaded, which are uploaded on the internet. So when you compare your essay, then you realize that, okay, maybe I missed this idea. It does not require you to write in Shakespearean English. You don't have to be the professor of English to score good in essay. But what you require is to have multiple dimension based thinking. So if it's a topic on poverty, if you're only taking the economic aspect of poverty, then you may miss out, because there are so many aspects like socio-cultural, like moral aspect of poverty, comparing rich nations with poor nations, and so on. So it's very important to broaden your thinking, and that will only come when you spend these 15 to 20 minutes, especially after your prelims, and practice each essay one day. And it does not have to be the full practice. You just make a rough structure so that you have your thoughts in place. So जब एग्जाम में ऐसा कोई टॉपिक आएगा that you know, then you would know कि हाँ, इस पे मुझे ये इंट्रोडक्शन लिखना था, इसमें मुझे उसके बाद ये करना था. So I would suggest that you make a separate register जिसमें आप ये skeleton basic structures रोज जो आप ऐसे practice करेंगे एक एक टॉपिक वो करें, and before the exam you just have to go through them to gather your thoughts.
Okay. Then we have, did you specifically prepare for CSAT? Could you please tell us what resources you used for CSAT?
I think I'm not the right person to answer this question, because before I started preparing for my UPSC, I also took the IIM exam, so the CAT exam. So I didn't really prepare for the CSAT, but I think what I followed in my main exam paper when it came during the prelims was that first I did all the English questions, and then I started with the mathematics one, because I felt that I am more comfortable, finishing up the English ones. Similarly, for somebody who's good at maths, do the other way around. So first try and do the questions which you can quickly do. There are about 80 questions and it's a passing paper. So accordingly plan. And then you can take up the questions which you may find difficult, जिसमें थोड़ा time लगता है, तो उसको फिर आराम से solve कीजिए. The idea is that जो भी आपका easier topic है, उससे related जो भी question हो, आप सबसे पहले कीजिए. उसके बाद आप दूसरे उन पे आइए. So about the resources, I think I may not be able to suggest a very specific book, but I think Arihant Publications do have a proper books on the CSAT preparation, so you can go ahead with them.
All right. Then there's a question regarding the optional. Law optional is usually a low-scoring subject. Toppers barely ever cross 300. Can you then choose this optional only on the basis of familiarity or interest when there are subjects wherein scoring 330 plus is not uncommon?
As I said earlier, I knew that this question was going to come because optional से related लोगों को बहुत anxiety होती है. So, when you see the trends do not really matter because it also depends on how many candidates are appearing with that optional. अगर पूरी दुनिया ज्योग्राफी ऑप्शनल से अपीयर हो रही है तो ज्यादा टॉपर्स ज्योग्राफी से निकलेंगे. अगर लॉ से कम लोग हैं तो ऑब्वियसली टॉपर्स में भी लॉ से कम आएंगे. So I would suggest that don't go by this bandwagon mentality. You choose a subject. When you choose the optional, I would say there are 3 parameters. Firstly, see whether you have a background in that subject. But if you're really adamant कि नहीं मुझे background वाला लेना ही नहीं है, then you see that whether you have interest in that subject. आपको subject अच्छा लगता है या नहीं. And finally, अगर आप इन दोनों से भी सहमत नहीं हैं, then you see whether the study material is available for that subject. That is very important. For example, if somebody is appearing if somebody is appearing with Hindi medium, then economics may not be the right choice for them. And the reason is that economics is one subject जिसमें ज़्यादातर study material is written by foreign authors. तो हिंदी मीडियम में वो कंटेंट इतना होगा ही नहीं कि वो अच्छे से प्रिपेयर कर पाए. So if you're really confused, you please take the right guidance. See कि कितना study material है, कितना concise syllabus है, and accordingly decide. But the first 2 questions remain very relevant. Background and your interest, I would say that they are the heart of choosing the optionals.
Okay, so this will be the last question. What would be the right approach for reading Indian economy for GS3 for a person starting with little knowledge of the same? Aditya is asking.
Thank you for the question, Aditya. So I think most of us have very little knowledge about economy because economics is kind of a technical subject. So when you're starting, the reference I would like to give is mrunal.org. They have a bunch of videos on GS3. So I think once you go through them, they have explained very beautifully the basic concepts of GS3 topics. So you start with those videos and simultaneously you read the NCERTs of at least 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Once you're done with these 2, I'm pretty sure that you will no longer feel that economics is new to me because they form the heart of all the GS3 syllabus. So I think once you're done with these 2 things, you go for Mrunal videos and NCERTs, you will have some standing in the subject and then you can follow with your current affairs news. GS3 के लिए mostly dynamic चीजें ज़्यादा important होती हैं, what's there in the news. So if you understand the basic concepts like GST, GDP, what happened when demonetization took place, you will be able to relate to it. So once you go through these videos and the NCERT, definitely you'll gain some confidence.
Okay, so now I would like to thank Ms. Aishwarya for taking some time out and giving us very invaluable insights to crack this exam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.